I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
Like I'd do it. There's you
Not an it.
I know. I just felt like
You do it. I asked, am I your type? And you said I do it. It's not funny.
Gentlemen, welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing well. I thought I'd start this one off with a laugh because it's just too funny, man. That interview was anything but funny. It is so awkward. I watched quite a bit of it and I thought I'd report on it because I thought it was an interesting talking point for these weekly videos. Why these super celebrity hip-hop rappers are choosing not to marry like Drake and The Weeknd, two Canadian hip-hop / rap artists that I'm quite familiar with. So we're gonna get into it, you know. Drake is just a freaking goofball. I don't know how to put it any other way than that. Nor do I really understand why he was on this interview. I think like watching the one with his son, Adonis. Yeah, his son's name is Adonis. He's just like, it's just like the comedy style that he inhibits, I suppose. Whereas it's the same for this really good podcast. This woman is out here having on some names. What's it? That one guy from Shark Tank, Mark Cuban was just on it. And again, I don't get it. I don't know why she's having these super successful men on her podcast and not having other women, but either way, I digress a little bit. I would not recommend watching the really good podcast, but the topic is, you know, why these men are choosing not to get married. And I mean, these are the 0.0001% of guys. So anyways, this is a article from People magazine, not surprisingly. Drake reveals why he hasn't gotten married, says he likes women who are into cosplay. I like somebody that's like their own. Okay. Either way. Drake may still be playing the field, but it's not his plan forever. So yeah, again, Drake is not married, but did have a child. Anyways. The search and rescue rapper appeared on the Really Good podcast on Thursday, where he discussed his new poetry book, as well as marriage, dating, and why he hasn't tied the knot himself. When asked why Drake hasn't been married, he said, "I don't know. It seems like the thing of like ancient times or something. I think I will eventually. I don't know. I don't think I can offer somebody what they'd be looking for, just consistency. I think my life, my work is my priority." So that's a very good talking point that gets passed around with the red pill mentality as well. You know, people on their purpose, and Drake is definitely a guy that's on his fucking purpose mind, like in a hyper successful level, where he has his incredibly well-known OVO clothing line, which sells like hotcakes. I was in Toronto recently and they were doing a warehouse sale for his clothing line, and I saw people lined up across this convention center waiting to get in to go and buy the one-offs of his clothing line brand. So I just have to assume that it sells really well. You know, obviously he has his hip-hop rap career, whatever you want to call it, but he also is an angel investor in a lot of companies, such as like Canadian marijuana companies. But in any case, yeah, guy's just on his purpose, so getting married, I guess, would slow him down, and then he has that huge chunk of money he would potentially lose, given he's in Hollywood, even though I'm pretty sure he mainly lives in Toronto. I'm sure he's experienced a lot of people in his life go through divorce and whatnot. Anyways, to get back to the conversation at hand, While she teased that Drake wanted to remain untethered so he could sleep around, the OVO boss asserted he couldn't offer consistency or give the proper dedication to a relationship at this stage in his life. I don't want to get married because I just don't want to disappoint someone, and I'm not like Amish. Okay. Alright. There was also another point of, marriage being something of an ancient tradition, men were married to virgins, and now hardly any women are virgins nowadays, let's be completely honest. There's just so much to lose and not enough to gain. A ring's expensive. Marriage is, the whole ceremony and everything surrounding it is extortionist. It's just nuts. So I don't blame him, but there's more to it. Drake also shared his perspective on wedding a fellow celebrity. I probably will not end up marrying someone famous, he told the TikTok influencer and the podcast host. Famous people really aren't that like anything. They're not that intriguing. Later in the interview, Drake revealed what he was looking for in a significant other, somebody that's an individual. And then she's like, wow, you really have high standards. I like somebody that's like their own. They're not just like a carbon copy, like a person that I've seen a bunch of times throughout my existence. I like somebody with a sense of humor, I like, I don't know, like cosplay. What do you mean? You want them to dress up as? Bobby asked. No, I don't need them to dress up. I probably will have fun with them more if they're into cosplay. Not with me, just like generally. And she says, you're weirder than I thought you were. And that's a fact for sure, Drake responded. You have no idea, honey. So, interesting. And then the rest of the articles just them talking about supposed romance he has with Sexy Red. It's probably some industry plant for all we know. I don't know who this person is. In any case, so that's just one of the hyper successful men that are out here, chasing their purpose, choosing not to get married. I think it's an interesting perspective point. And then I think of people like The Weeknd, who's also another hyper successful Canadian hip hop rap artist, who in one of his own songs is like, he'd rather have a child than get married because at least it's not something temporary and we'll have something that's real. Which I thought is a great line because there's nothing more real than a child. And if you look at anything that Drake has posted of him and Adonis, he just has so much love for his child that it's amazing. They're always playing basketball, and I get that on Instagram you're putting out the best moments of some of your life. I'm sure there's a lot of headaches that come with that, with the baby mama, whoever the hell the baby mama is, I really don't know. But in any case, he has a legacy, and that kid is going to be super popular when he gets to elementary school, high school, throughout his entire life. I mean, he's Drake's son. He might be the one and only. Kid's got some big Timberlands to jump into, or some Nike Maxes or some shit. I don't know. But joking aside, he's gonna have a hell of a life, that's for sure. With all the royalties that he makes from his music and his clothing line and whatnot. The Weeknd is a different side of the coin, so Drake's a bit more open about himself, whereas The Weeknd has always been shrouded in mystery when it comes to things. And I'd say that he really popped off when he did the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack there. I feel like I Can't Feel My Face really just kind of pushed him into the mainstream, where he has had a really like dark musical upbringing. But yeah, a lot of the times people don't really ask him about his relationships. For all we know, he could be like the Tates, who have recently come out and been like, we have children. For all we know, The Weeknd's got a child somewhere out there. He's always dating supermodels or really attractive young celebrities, which I'm not too surprised about. I actually kind of wonder why somebody like him does stay in a relationship at all means. If you've ever listened to his music, it seems, if it's semi-autobiographical, my apologies, like he says it is, then it seems that he's kind of coming around to that time in his life when he wants something a bit more permanent. Don't know if he's ever going to go that way, because let's be real, he's like his hip hop artist career is really kind of fuckboy central. But yeah, he's also just doing his own thing. You don't hear him much in the media for anything but The Idol, which was an absolute crazy show. If you want to laugh, it's definitely worth a laugh. It was only 5 episodes, which I'd love to talk about more, but it would have to be an off YouTube thing because it's incredibly not safe for work. But anyways, yeah, he's just doing his own thing. He's making his money. He's put out like a coffee line recently that went back to his African heritage and whatnot, his Ethiopian, heritage. Yeah, doing a lot of stuff, traveling the world, selling out stadium shows. Incredible stuff. You know, these are just men on their purpose, and if they're at the tippity top and they're choosing not to get married, I think it's a good indication for even the average Joe. What's the point? You know, if you are blue pilled and you're in love and you want to spend your life with somebody, you can do that without, you know, getting a marriage certificate or going through a fancy thing. You know, common law is a thing. And if not, you know, you can date around and have your fun or go your own way. And that's just that. In any case, that's been the episode for today. I hope you enjoyed my perspective on the hyper successful men in hip hop. I get that my crowd's mainly, you know, Caucasian, but at the same time, you know, even I listen to The Weeknd or Drake every now and then because they're crazy Canadian artists. But yeah, just some stuff that yeah, I wanted to talk about. So I appreciate you listening as always. Like the video if you want this to get to more people, trying to get to a different audience. Subscribe if you liked it. If the view count stays high for these kind of episodes, I'll keep on putting them out. I'm doing this on my spare time outside of what I record for the main content. Just thought to myself, because I'd been talking with people and they've been saying things like they'd like some content around the red pill, but not just women bashing, and I get that. So there's stuff like this. I don't really see a lot of people talk about these guys, even though there's a lot to talk about there, and I'd need a lot more time to really dig deep underneath the surface for both of them. They're both incredibly interesting guys. I mean, Drake's a goofball, but anyways, I digress. I'll wrap things up here as it's been nearly 13 minutes. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.